Shalom. Welcome to A Taste of Torah with Rabbi Carol. This week's Parsha is entitled VaYigash, and we are looking at the third Aliyah, which is found in Bereshit, Genesis chapter 45, verses 8 through 18. And I want to read just verse 8. I want to set the scene for you. Perhaps you're not familiar with the story that we are in the midst of. We're going to read some words that Joseph speaks to his brothers. Joseph was one of 12 sons. And his 11 brothers, or 10 brothers, his younger brother was not, but his older brothers were all very jealous of him. So much so that they sold him as a slave into Egypt. And once he's in Egypt, a lot of bad things happen to him, and he even ends up thrown in prison, not because he has done anything wrong. But God brings him out of prison and puts him in a place of authority in the land of Egypt. And a famine spread throughout the whole Middle East, and the only place where there is food is in Egypt because of the wisdom that God had given to Joseph. So his brothers are there seeking food for their family and their father. And it is at this point that Joseph reveals himself to them. So listen to what he says in verse 8 of Genesis 45. So then it was not you who sent me here, but God, Selah. Let's think about that phrase, but God. He made me father to Pharaoh, lord of his entire household, and the ruler of all Egypt. Indeed, that is the position that Joseph now found himself in. He was second to Pharaoh, and in some respects equal to Pharaoh in terms of providing for people in the land and outside of the land who were coming because of this famine. And when Joseph revealed himself to their brothers, they were very, very nervous because they knew what they had done. But we need to focus on Joseph's perspective. He said, brothers, you're not the one responsible for me being here. God was in control all of the time. And he has placed me here for such a time as this in order to provide for you, my brothers, and my father, and my family, and for the nations of the earth. Reminds me of what Rav Shaul says in the New Covenant, that God works all things together for our good to those who love him and are called according to his purposes. And that is so important for us to remember, because sometimes we find ourselves in situations that are not what we thought would be. And often we can look and we can say, you know what, I'm here because of this person or that person who did such and such to me. However, I think if we would step back and try to gain the perspective of Joseph towards our own situations, it would be helpful. If you are a true follower of Adonai, then you have to trust that he is in control of every detail of your life. And even though you might find yourself in a place where you could never have imagined yourself to be, you have to trust that God is there and that he knows exactly what is going on and that he will work to bring about his purposes and plans for your life, because your life will impact the lives of others. So let us meditate upon this and let us say, God, help me to see the situation that I'm in through your eyes. And help me to see what you are doing so that your purposes and plans for my life can be fulfilled. And help me to be at peace in the midst of what might be turmoil and situations that are beyond my control, and to trust you in the midst of that. So thank you for listening to me today. I just pray that indeed you would have the peace of God and the comfort knowing that he is with you and he will direct your steps. As always, we'd like to invite you to join us here at Beth Emanuel tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. for our Shabbat service. You can come a little early. 10 o'clock is our Kesher Cafe, coffee and some goodies. And if you're not local here to Long Island, then we invite you to join us here on Facebook or YouTube to catch our service as we stream live. But if you're local, join us at Exit 61 here in Holbrook, New York on the Long Island Expressway. God bless and have a great day.